Chapter 3, Lesson 3.1, Solving two-step equations. So to solve two-step equations, you need to use two inverse operations. So like first subtraction and then division, first addition and then multiplication, first addition, then division, first subtraction, then division or multiplication, two inverse operations. So I'll explain it in example 1. Example 1, they give us 3x plus 7 equals negative 5. 3x plus 7 equals negative 5. So we have to, the first thing x is being multiplied by 3. So in order to divide by 3 and for x to be alone, everything else has to be on the other side. So we have to isolate the term that has x. So we have to isolate 3x from everything else. So we have to subtract 7. We're using an inverse operation right now. An inverse operation, yeah. So 3x plus 7 minus 7 is going to be 3x equals negative 5 minus 7, negative 12. So 3x equals negative 12. Now we have to isolate x. Once we have the term isolated, now we just have to isolate x. So x is being multiplied by 3, so we have to divide by 3. Divide it by 3. It's going to be x equals negative 4. This is how we solve a two-step equation. And if you wanted to check, you could plug x in, negative 4x over here. So you're going to see that we have to use PEMDAS. So negative 4 times 3 is going to be negative 12. Negative 12 plus 7 is going to be negative 5. So this is the answer to example 1. You have to first isolate the term that has the variable, and then you have to isolate the variable from everything else in the term. Because 7 is a constant, negative 5 is a constant. This is a term that has a numerical value and a variable value. So you have to first isolate the term, and then you have to isolate the actual variable from the numerical value that it comes along with. So, example 2. Example 2 gives us solve x divided by 2 minus 3 equals 1. So this right here is the term we have to isolate. The term we have to isolate. So to isolate this from everything else, this is being subtracted by 3. So we have to add 3 to both sides. So x over 2 minus 3 plus 3 equals 1 plus 3, which is 4. So now that we have the term isolated, we have to isolate the variable from the numerical value of the term. So if something is being divided or multiplied by something, it's still in the same term. But if something is being added, then that's a whole other term. So x divided by 2, which is one term, you have to multiply by 2 to get the 2 out of there. Multiply by 2. Multiply both sides by 2. So x divided by 2 times 2 is going to be x equals 4 times 2, 8. Equations later on are going to be like 10-step. Like it gets very long, so it's very important you understand the concept of how to solve a basic 2-step equation. Because then you'll be able to solve a basic 3-step equation, things like that. It gets easier. So example 3. Example 3 gives us solve 7 minus 4y equals 19. So negative 4y is the term we have to isolate. So think of this as 7 plus negative 4y equals 19. So to isolate this, we're going to have to subtract 7 from both sides. Subtract 7. So 7 plus negative 4y minus 7 is going to be negative 4y, which is equal to 19 minus 7, which is 12. So now that we have the term isolated, we have to get rid of the numerical value. So negative 4 is being multiplied by y, so we have to divide by negative 4. Divide both sides by negative 4. Negative 4y divided by negative 4 is going to be y, which is equal to 12 divided by negative 4. positive divided by negative is going to be a negative, and it's going to be -3. An example 4, they give us a real world situation, which, let me read it. Let me read it from the original page. You are buying a drum set that costs $495. So that's right. Example 4. Drum set. Drum set costs $495. $495. The music store lets you make a down payment, which is like you pay something, like you put something on the table and then you pay like per month. You make a down payment and then you can pay the remaining costs in 3 equally monthly payments with no interest charged. You don't even know what interest is, just know it charges the certain amount per month to end up adding up to $495. You make a down payment of $150. Down payment equals $150. How much is each monthly payment? So first we have to write an equation for what we're gonna solve. So just know that drum set equals down payment plus 3, because of the 3 months, times whatever the monthly payment is, x. X equals monthly payment, because this is what we're trying to find. So then we have to apply everything we know. The drum set is $495, so $495 equals the down payment, which is $150, plus 3 times x. This is our equation. Now we should have to solve for x, which is the monthly payment that you make 3 times. So you have to isolate the term that has the variable. This has 150 in it, like 150 plus 3x, so we have to subtract by 150. So this gets you 3x equals 345. Then you have to isolate. Now that you have the term, you have to get rid of the numerical value of the term to get the lone variable. So if 3 times x, you have to divide by 3 to get just x. Divide by 3. This gets us 115. If x equals 115, the monthly payment is $115. So you write monthly payment is $115. You make this 3 times. So 115 times 3 plus the down payment is going to end up being $495. It gets more complicated from here, so make sure you understand how to solve 2-step equations. You have to isolate the term that has the variable, and then you have to get rid of the numerical value, and you get the solution.